Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be here. It's an awful stress to talk after Professor Sachs, but I hope I'll manage somehow. Well, as I was preparing for the presentation, I'm a consultant, and we like to have a presentation. It's our favorite tool, so I hope you don't mind. I thought, why not getting some help from the artificial intelligence? You know, John, after all, it's this tool that we are all using these days, whether for writing emails or predicting the future. So I figured, let's have the AI estimate the probability of us achieving the Sustainable Development Goals by 2030. Now, I have to say, I wasn't brave enough to ask it to challenge the incredible work of Professor Sachs, but I hope it would just help us out to wake up, because I think a wake-up call is needed. Just a moment, let me just use this. Okay, so this is what AI says. How likely we are to achieve those goals. And as you can see, while we are making, AI at least think so, we are making good progress on some fronts like clean energy, health, there are critical areas where we are falling behind. AI thinks it's about inequality, sustainable consumption, and of course, climate action. On average, the AI estimates only 40% chance of achieving the SDGs by 2030. So the clock is ticking. I think we should all really wake up. And one of the biggest wildcards of this fight is upcoming US election. The future of SDGs, particularly those related to climate action, SDG 13, or clean energy, SDG 7, or inequality, SDG 10, I think will be shaped by this decision. If Trump wins, we can expect, for example, a further rollback of the US climate commitments, isolating one of the largest contributors to global greenhouse gases. Let me give you an example. If Trump were to hold funding for the World Health Organization, as he frequently announced, Bill Gates, with his 10% share in donations, would become the main financier of the organization. Whether it's good or bad, I'll give this judgment to you, whether you like to have this so-called giga-capitalist so much power and the influence on policies. On the other hand, if Harris wins, there's a real opportunity for us, for US to rejoin the global sustainability effort and become a key player in achieving the SDGs. Now, when you look just at one component, let's say global clean energy investments, you could see that back in 2004, the world invested around $47 billion in renewables. Fast forward to 2017, and that number soared by over 400%. However, the pace of investments varies greatly by region. China has taken a commanding lead with $126 billion invested in 2017, alone equivalent to the combined investments of the United States, Europe, and the rest of the world. In contrast, Europe, and I would agree with Professor Sachs, SDGs are our opportunity. This is something we should be leading on. And we saw 6% decline, for example, in clean energy investment that year, dropping almost $41 billion, the lowest since 2006. As Professor Merchev highlights in his book, The Prologue, a read I highly recommend, the answer to whether the glass is half full or half empty depends entirely of your perspective. I think there are key areas where we need to accelerate our efforts in the field of energy, transportation, finance, urban development. These sectors, I would say, are critical to achieving the SDGs. In energy, we need to massively scale up renewable infrastructure, solar, wind, geothermal, especially in developing economies. Finally, our cities, which are responsible for a large share of global emissions, must be transformed into sustainable, climate-resilient communities. While we may be behind, I think the future is still in our hands. The US election will play a crucial role in determining where we go next, but it's not the only factor. Europe, the Mediterranean, and the rest of the world cannot afford to wait. So we need leadership on all levels, governments, businesses, civil society, to push up toward the SDG finish line. I think we've been hitting the snooze button for too long, but here's a real opportunity in front of us. Waking up now doesn't just avert disaster, it unlocks incredible potential. So even if you are a greedy bastard that doesn't think about ethics, morality, or whatever, SDGs pay off. You can earn money with the SDGs. I think that addressing the poverty and equality, SDG 1 and 10, can create stronger, more inclusive economies. Improving education, SDG 4, and health, SDG 3, can equip future generations to innovate and lead. Investing in sustainable cities, SDG 11, partnership, SDG 17, will make our societies more resilient and prosperous. So achieving the SDGs is about fostering a world where economic growth, social equity, and environmental sustainability come together. It all pays off. So if we act now, we'll create a future of opportunity, innovation, and shared prosperity. So let's get on to it. Thank you very much.